You are listening to the Leadership of the Leaf Sidebar episode. Join Austin and Dice as they put some smoke in the air.
Welcome to another episode of Leadership of the Leaf Sidebar Edition.
Woo-hoo, I love sidebars.
Sidebars, my name's Austin.
And I am Dice.
Dice, what are you smoking today?
For this sidebar episode, sir, I am smoking an Aganorsa Leaf Corojo.
Ooh.
I like Corojo.
I do too. That's very, very good. What Hennessy are you deciding to grace us with your presence?
I am enjoying a Hennessy VSOP privilege.
Nice, very nice. And I am smoking an Aganorsa Leaf Corojo as well.
Oh, snap! That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, although mine is a smaller size than yours is.
Well, we're not going to hold that against you, sir.
I have a Gran Robusto where you are smoking the Toro.
Toro, yes. Which I confirm is a Toro.
I'm so proud of you for reading the label.
I'm proud of you for seeing it with your own two eyes instead of someone else's eye.
Thanks.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking an old fashioned.
Oh my goodness. Is it smoky?
No, I didn't smoke this one.
That's okay. I won't hold it again.
No. It seems like there's a lot of things you're trying not to hold against me, but you kind of are.
I love an old fashioned, my friend.
Could change the subject.
What are we talking about on this sidebar, sir?
Alright, this sidebar episode, we are going to talk about whether or not leaders need to save their employees from themselves. This is in regards to resiliency or mental health issues.
That's a pretty deep topic. Mental health is one of those issues, a hot button topic nowadays.
Very hot button topic nowadays. I do know that there's a lot of employers who provide family counseling, even if it's just, a therapist or somebody to talk to. A lot of HR people are trained in psychology just to help their workers out.
But when I look at leaders trying to save their team, their subordinates, whatever, from themselves, I don't necessarily always get in the mental health aspect. I also get into but also get in like a safety aspect. Like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that, jackass, because you could die. Right.
I mean, there's those OSHA standards, right, where an employer has to provide a clean, safe workspace or PPE if there's not there's no way around the safety aspect, right? That's why mechanics wear gloves, hearing protection, eye protection, steel-toed boots. Yeah, stuff like that, like whatever they need, that's provided by the employer. But mental health is a kind of a weird one. Now, I was kind of reading up on this a little bit, and I'm of the opinion that those services are great. Don't get me wrong. Having an employer paid for therapist or whatever on council or on staff, even if it's for families or whatever, is a great thing for those that want to use it, or those that are seen to potentially just like break down or whatever. But like, just for the normal, like, hey, I'm maybe you had a rough week and you're stressed out. Does the employer have the right to kind of be like, hey, you need to go talk to this therapist just because you're having a rough week?
I think they have the power to suggest it. I don't think they have the power to make someone do
Right. No, I agree on the power aspect, but should they even do that?
I think they should, especially if you have, your number one star person, star worker, or whatever, and then they're kind of in a slump. Maybe they need to talk to someone to get it out, to whatever they need to do to get back on track, because you don't want to lose that person, right? So it's a great suggestion and a strong suggestion for, I guess, any employer that wants to maintain a super team.
Yeah, so I agree with you for a little bit, but my thing is like, let's just say for me, because the aspect then comes in of, that therapist, they're provided by the company, right? So does that mean if I go in there and I'm like, man, I'm really having a hard time, my mom just died and my wife is talking about taking the kids and and I just don't know how the headspace is. What happens if that therapist who's paid by the company turns around and shares some secrets or accidentally, puts something on your record or whatever, and it's like, hey, this person, did you know, like, I don't want to say that there's no confidentiality, but they either let it slip or they write the notes or something like that, and it's like, well, shit, that just defeats the whole purpose.
I truly believe, not saying stuff like that doesn't happen, I'm not saying it doesn't, but on the surface, it can't happen. It's not supposed to happen. If it does, that's when it open up for lawsuits and all kinds of other like crazy things, because the whole purpose of going to these therapists and whoever you're talking to is supposed to be the confidentiality, other than like, you say something crazy like you're going to murder everyone, then they have to talk. But other than that, like, it's supposed to just be between you and their little notebook.
Yeah. Well, and then I know this aspect has been brought up to me, like, hey, I don't want to go talk to somebody because then what if I get passed over for promotion?
Yeah, if that was the case for me, like, I will always have that feeling like I know why I didn't get this promotion. It's because I talked to that profession, that whatever, right?
Right.
So I don't know. It's a mixed bag for me. I am pro positive mental health assessment and help, but I don't know if I would actually engage myself.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so. And it doesn't even have to be that they shared something, right? It could just be that your boss saw you go talk to the therapist, and then they take that as, oh, Johnny's fucking not right in the head and he has to talk to somebody. I don't want to add more stress, so I'm going to give this promotion or this big project to somebody else, and they think that they're helping. In reality, you just made that stress 10 times worse for that person, because now they're questioning in their own head, like, what the fuck did I do? Oh my gosh, why am I not getting this promotion? Why am I not getting that big project? Whatever the case happens to be, all because they were seen by a boss, going into that office.
But then this goes back to the primary topic. If I see someone going in and I am the leader of this group and I see someone going in, I should, being of the subject matter of our topic, I should be applauding that person, be like, I'm glad that motherfucker's going to go get some help. I'm glad he's finding an outlet other than taking it out on his wife when he gets home. I applaud this employee that he's not taking it home to his family and he's helping himself. So I will encourage that. But before I would give a big project, be like, hey, Austin, hey, I got this super huge project coming up. It's very important. I know you probably have a lot going on. Just asking, are you up for the task?
Right. And I would agree with that. It's just, I know as much as the mental health career fields, right, has tried to say that there's not a stigma on mental health. There's more people getting mental health help and it's not a bad thing anymore, blah, blah, blah. There's still a little bit of that stigma, there's, especially from the, I would say, the older generation, like my dad, or other family members of that generation. If I tell them, hey, I'm going to go, I think I've been seeing this therapist or whatever, they're like, oh, Is everything okay? Are you not okay? What's going on? And then they either start to pry, or they don't know how to handle somebody that might be going to see mental health, or they don't want to broach that subject at all.
Well, that's the whole point. That's why it became a hot button topic, because that is the stigma that I believe as society we're trying to break. Because there's so many like men aren't supposed to cry or talk about their feelings and all this other stuff. So the cycle, in my opinion, is actually on the verge of being broken, but there's still that stigma there. I don't know how to get rid of it, but I do see society as a whole, we're taking steps in the right direction as we're talking about it more. There's more panels. I actually heard it on the radio going to work this morning where they was talking about it. So it's definitely an open book that is now being read instead of just pushed to the side.
Yeah, and I agree. It's just, again, but it kind of circles back. Does a leader have the requirement to save their employees from themselves? And I would say that they probably do. If I see somebody going down a bad path, I think it's my responsibility as a leader to sit there and kind of go, hey, I noticed you're not okay. What's going on? Do you need to talk to somebody? Do we need to, do you need to talk to the therapist? Do you need some time off work? What do you need? What can I do to help you out? And it just may be, the aspect of like, they just need an out, they need a vent to somebody, because of their support system is either gone, not there, or crumbling or whatever.
Well, I definitely have been on both sides where I do need a vent. I believe we have had several conversations where I need a vent. There's a few outlets I have right now at work where I'll gladly talk to someone and, they hear me out, and then they'll point out something like maybe you shouldn't said that to that person because of the position that you have, or something like that, or whatever, right? So we have the conversation, and then I feel better afterwards. Now I let that person know, be like, hey, I appreciate you listening to me, just hearing me out. Not really providing any feedback, just really listening to what I have to say. And then, of course, if I ask the question, I need an honest, like, no bullshit, here's the bottom dollar type answer. As opposed to actually going to a therapist, a psychiatrist, whoever I need to see. If that was an option that was provided by the company or any company, maybe I would seek it. But or as me helping out others, I would gladly, each and every teammate, employee, subordinate, whatever, I kind of know that person. As you know, I get from behind the desk, you get from behind the desk, and I kind of have an idea of someone's attitude, well-being, and I kind of keep a mental track, not a written track, mental track. And if they need something, yeah, I would ask, I would bend the ear, because sometimes it's that tough question that needs, are you thinking about hurting yourself? Sometimes people need that question asked.
Yeah. No, I have been in that situation where somebody, hey, are you thinking about hurting yourself? Yes, I am. All right, let's go talk to somebody. We're going to go to the chaplain. We're going to go to we're going to go to a priest, a therapist, whatever, right?
Not the bar.
Not the bar. We're going to get some help in whatever shape or form. It's just, there's certain aspects where I wonder, do leaders either overstep their bounds by forcing resiliency training or mental health training on people, and because there's a suicide epidemic, right?
Yeah.
And so I know that I have received suicide awareness training probably once a year, like, hey, these are the signs you watch out for. So, but to the aspect of now I feel like I'm just being coached. Like, if I ever wanted to do something, I know what signs not to show. Right. So
I've been down that avenue.
Yeah, exactly. So my thing is that, I think everybody has a responsibility, especially as a leader, to sit there and make sure that their people's well-being is foremost on their mind. right? Do you have the tools? Do you have the technology? Do you have the required stuff to do your job? Second, do you have the pay? Do you have the time? Do you have the work-life balance to be able to do your job effectively? Then, like, finally, it's like, hey, how are you mentally? Are you okay in a mental aspect to do this job? And then some jobs are more stressful than others, right? You look at air traffic controllers; those are like the most stressful jobs in the world.
Even a cop.
Yeah, cops, and cops and FBI agents and CIA agents, they all have therapists that are on the board, and they their bosses can direct, hey, you have to, especially after a traumatic event, hey, you need to go see the psych, you need to go see the shrink and get cleared to be able to return to duty, or whatever the case happens to be. And I think that's great. It's just there's a lot of other people who may be in the middle, like you and me, who may have support systems and outlets that may just have a bad day and don't need to go see a therapist, but the boss may be like, no, I think you need to go see a therapist. And so there's a fine line there, in my opinion, of when does a person highly suggest it or even mandate it, if that's allowed per your job, versus just kind of being an ear to talk to and saying, hey, do you have a support system? Are you good? They go, yeah, I'm just having a bad day. All right, cool. Do you have somebody to talk to about this, or do you need to talk about it? Oh, no, I'm good. I'm going to go smoke a cigar and talk with a buddy, and I'll be good by Monday. All right, cool. Have a good weekend.
Even with that aspect, it would still be something I would monitor. And when you say, should it be warranted? Should it be forced or mandatory or whatever? I say yes. I say, if I send you to someone and you talk and whatever, and you really didn't need it to begin with, if I got the time, the money, and all that know-how from the company or whatever, and I send you there and everything's okay, I'd rather send you there for nothing than miss the boat when you actually need it to go. I'd rather force that resilience on you than to just leave it up to your mental capacity, because you may think like, nah, I'm good. I'll smoke a cigar. I'll be fine. And then the next day you're just worse. Now you're spiraling out of control, when I could have forced you to go Friday evening. You talk to someone, smoke a cigar, and then you'll be good.
Right.
So yes, I think you should be forced.
Yeah. I mean, to an extent, yeah. There's so many things where, I wonder, are we getting away from the personal accountability aspect, I guess?
I think the personal accountability aspect has gone quite astray from society as a whole. Just thinking about everything that goes on. For example, let's look at a crosswalk. I'm pretty sure you've seen crosswalks before, right? There's a few people that's waiting for the little walk and don't walk sign, but yet if you go like a half block down the street, there's someone running across the street. So we've already placed something. We already put a therapist pretty much on the corner trying to, talk someone through getting across the street, but yet you still got a handful of people that's refusing to accept it. So even with these roadblocks and everything put in place that try to help everyone be more resilient, you're still going to have the ones that don't want it, don't need it, and don't follow directions. And we got to handhold everyone.
Yeah. And that's just what,
I hate it. I really hate it. If someone gets ran over because they didn't do a crosswalk sign, I feel sorry for the family and all that stuff, but that dude's stupid. He was fucking stupid. A half a block away, he could have got across the street easily.
No, I agree. And I think that's my thing is, at least for my hang up, is whatever happened to the personal accountability aspect. One, two, there's a lot of companies and places out there that are just like, hey, we're going to have a resiliency day and we're all going to do this team building and stuff like that. And the people, may or may not want it, but, those who don't want it are usually like, this is dumb. This doesn't benefit me. Really what I need is a better work-life balance, or I need more time off or time with my family or something like that. And instead you got me fucking here out at a damn picnic or some bullshit, playing volleyball or frisbee or dominoes or whatever, when I could be spending this fucking time with my family. And that's what I really want to do,
And see, that's where I think they're missing the concept of these resilient days or fun days or mandatory teamwork days, whatever your company's going to call them, because that is the time frame where you can pull someone to the side and then have these kind of open air discussions like that. Because a lot of times a direct line to my position to one of the lower positions is not always available. I'm not always going to be there to sit down and chit chat. But if we have a bowling league night, that hey, while we dipping in some nachos together, this is time you can bend my ear to certain things. Like, you know what? Johnny's not really pulling his weight. He's not answering the phone. He's not doing all that. And no one's really seeing it. And I'm like, oh, thanks for sharing that with me. I will definitely pay more attention. I'll look at the phone logs. I'll pay attention to the reports that I get coming in. And I'll recognize whose names are always on the top of the sheet. But without these resilient days, I can't see that. I don't have time to sit in everyone's shoes.
Yeah, and again, I agree with all of it. It's just, to me, it comes right back to this whole personal accountability and everything. And maybe again, maybe I'm just kind of blind, or I'm having a personal bias moment or something like that, where I'm like, what does it matter? Like, if I sit there and I try to talk to somebody and they're like, yep, I'm good. Okay, cool. I'm not going to force you. You tell me you're good, I'm going to believe you. I'm not, unless you're seriously showing a whole bunch of signs of like bad behavior or something, I'm going to sit there and go, all right, cool. You good to handle this project? All right, cool. I'm going to let you handle the project then. And then if it turns around like 2 weeks in, they do the worst or whatever, they hurt themselves, then I'm going to be like, what the hell? They told me they were good. Was there signs? Oh no, there was no signs that they had any issues, because they were trained to hide those signs.
Well, that's in that situation. That's where you have to have that open, honest communication. Austin, are you good? Oh yeah, I'm good. Well, this is why I asked. I noticed this, and I noticed this, and just last week you did this. That's uncharacteristic of your behavior. I'm just making sure you're good. I have this project. Are you good to work this project? Of course, boss. I'm good. Okay, well, I will let you know. I will closely monitor this project because I need, you on your A game, and lately you've been pulling your C game, and these are the things I'm noticing. So with this project, this is the time to show me that you're good, so we're going to move forward with it. But again, being a good leader, you got to always have a backup, a plan B, right? Plan B made plan A happen type of situation. So you closely monitor. As soon as you see like someone's taking an exit, like, yeah, he's not staying on track, that's when you pull the plug and you maneuver somewhere else.
Yeah, and I think that's, again, at least in my position, with being trained so much to sit there and, not on what signs to show.
What are you doing?
My ash fell off into my lap. Like a loser. I went to go ash and it fell. When somebody hides their signs and hey, yeah, Johnny was good the whole way, like everything was great, nothing was wrong, blah blah blah, and then suddenly Johnny doesn't show up for work. You're like, what happened? Oh, he hurt himself. What? He wasn't showing any signs. He wasn't. How did I miss this? Or whatever. It's just people are hiding it. People are liars.
True, 100%. And if they really want that, essentially it's going to fall back on that person. But a good leader has to be able to try to recognize something that's different, because no matter how hard they try, they're always going to show some kind of sign. They're always going to show some kind of wavering. They're going to show something. I mean, not everybody is going to be that sad clown where they put a smile on their face and they move forward in life. It's hard to read through, especially a lot of people. I'm guaranteed there's days at work where I know I wasn't good, and I'm pretty confident you had no idea if I was good or not.
Yeah, I think you hit that pretty well, at least for me.
So just moving forward, like everybody's not going to have that telltale sign like scars on their fucking wrist where they tried the night before or something like that. So, I mean, that's where you have to get from behind your desk. You have to have that communication. You got to always have that positive. Like, I try to say hello to everyone. I try to talk to everyone, because if there's something that's going on, then they're more than likely going to shy away. Be like, hey, I normally get a fist bump from this guy. Where the fuck is he at now?
Yeah.
Oh, he's feeling a little down today. Oh, Timmy, tell me more why he's feeling down. And then I can go talk to Ralphie or whatever his name is and figure it out from there.
Right. Yeah, and I agree. I think, for the most part, I think leaders should be, I don't want to say responsible, but at least be aware of certain situations in that aspect. But I also think that it majorly comes back down to personal accountability. Like if you're getting overwhelmed, you have to be able to see as a person, hey, I'm not doing so hot. I know my work's been slipping. I know things have been going wrong. I know I'm not focusing on the things that I need to be focusing on. Let me go talk to somebody or whatever the case happens to be.
Again, as you said, personal accountability, it falls on that person. I mean, as a leader or a manager or leader of the group, whatever, you hold some kind of aspect to it, especially if you're a good leader, you kind of take a little pride in those type of situations. But all else, it falls on to that person for personal accountability, like you're implying. There's nothing you can do. Like, you can be the greatest guy in the world and you go rob a bank. I had no idea you were going to rob a bank. It's not like you're going to share that with me.
Right. I mean, I might share the money if you come help.
I'm down. Disclaimer: we will not rob a bank. Wink.
Exactly.
But it falls back to your question of topic, right?
Right.
So, I don't know. As a leader, are we responsible for the resiliency of our people?
And that's the $1 million question. I would say that to a degree we probably are, because there's just certain things that we should be able to notice. Is that person good? Is that person bad? Are they acting out of the norm or whatever the case happens to be? If everything's good and hunky dory, then sure, I don't need to sit there and hold their hand. But if I'm noticing something different, I'm going to monitor the situation. One bad day does not make a huge problem. Maybe they're just having an off day. Maybe they didn't get enough sleep the night before. Maybe they were hungover. Maybe they had too much to drink and went to the bar on a Thursday or something.
Is that bad?
No, I'm just saying, like.
Okay. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just, but there's, again, it comes back to that aspect of like, are you required to? I believe as leaders we are required to know our people. I believe that we are required to notice. You should notice when something is off, and at least be like, "Hey, you good?" But as far as like, "Hey," being concerned about their mental health. Absolutely. In charge of their mental health? No.
I think as a leader, you hold some responsibility in it because their mental health could be a direct reflection of you. Like, I'm pretty sure there's times where you was my go-to guy. Like, hey, Austin, I need you. Like, fuck, man. He always fucking calls me. I'm so sick of this shit. And then we go have a cigar and we're good.
Right. No, I mean, there's definitely days where I was like, dude, you asked me for everything. Not everything could be a fucking priority, whatever the case is, right? Nothing is a priority if everything is a priority.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I don't think I've done that, have I? Nah.
No, I mean, it's usually changing priorities when I'm already like, knee deep in something else. But it's yeah, exactly. But it's usually, it's not controlled by you. It's controlled by the big boss. But I think there's some aspect of like, oh my gosh, this dude won't shut the hell up. Oh my gosh, my boss is a jerk. He doesn't go to anybody else, even though 16 other people could do this fucking job. No, he goes to me because he knows I'm going to get it done. And I have to sit there and fight to sit there and even get this. But even though I do all this stuff, he doesn't recognize me. So
ooh, a whole different topic.
Yeah, a whole different topic, but it falls in line with how how my mental health is based off of how I view the world viewing me, how I think the world views me, and how I view myself.
And again, the boss plays some kind of responsibility, because there's some positions of people when they come and ask a question, you can't really say no.
Right.
You could, but now now you're talking to the top boss, and he asks a question, you're like, right away, sir.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. All right. CEO. Oh, the CEO wants something. Yeah. All right. CEO gets what CEO wants. I guess. Like, fuck it. I'll suck it up. But there's there's a lot of things to be said for the frontline supervisor, making sure that the people who are doing the hard job actually are the ones getting rewarded, and that goes a long way with their mental health. And then, but as far as like, hey, we need to force our people to go see the counselor, I just don't see that as being beneficial. I see that as eroding trust between employee and employers. Like, you don't trust me when I say I'm fucking good? Like, you have to sit there and try to like babysit me now?
Well, I would hope, this is hope, I don't like living by the hope, but I would hope that a leader isn't just randomly, hey, you, go see the counselor.
Right,
what?
But I think if, we have bad leaders, we have good leaders.
Well, the good leaders are obviously listening right now, so...
Of course they are. Of course they are.
Oh no, this is a pretty good topic, sir.
Hey, I'm here for you. I just provide the topics and we discuss. But I think it's one of those things where if used incorrectly, it can erode a lot of trust between employees and employers. I think if it's used properly, you could probably sit there and kind of go, all right, cool, this makes sense. Yeah, hey, Billy did need to go see that shrink because of whatever. I know that I sent a guy to get evaluated. Hey, he's not doing okay. He lied his ass off to the evaluator, and they just did not. They're like, I don't see the problem. I think he's great. He came back and he was mad as hell at all of us for forcing him to go see a therapist.
Well, that's the personal accountability. Like, you did your end. You like not wash your hands of the situation, but you was knee deep in it, and the person didn't receive it as such. That goes to the maturity level of a person, and also, to be honest, is that the kind of guy we want on our team?
No, that was the whole thing. It was it was like, hey, this dude, I don't really trust him to do what he's supposed to be doing. So what do I do now? And it was just a whole big situation. But I think there's a certain aspect of like, I need to protect the safety of myself, my other employees, if somebody is not okay, especially in construction, manual labor type jobs. Could you imagine like the guy driving the fucking the crane or something has a mental break during while they're using it? Like, holy shit, that's not good.
I don't want to see my crane driver fucking bawling.
Yeah, exactly. That's not okay. But it's just one of those things where I think we as leaders play a role in that, but I think it's if we're not careful, the pendulum's going to swing too far, and it's going to become solely the manager's responsibility for everything.
Well, I think it's however you accept your role from the beginning. You're touchy-feely from the beginning, you got to kind of stay touchy-feely through the whole process, right? But if you stay at bay with a certain length of the yardstick, then every now and again you inch a little closer, I feel you attract more trust within your employees that way, more trust within your subordinates that way. I don't know, it's just the leadership aspect. It's all, there's too many variables for this topic.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think there's certain aspects where hey, a leader should be really responsible for it, and I think there's certain aspects where, like, if you're in an office setting, you need to be able to be able to recognize your employees have issues or don't have issues.
What do you think of your cigar, sir?
It's good. It's very good. First third, I'm getting like chocolatey, leathery notes with a little bit of black pepper on the back end.
Wow, really? Mine is kind of sweet.
Really? Wonder if that's the size difference.
I definitely get that pepper, though. You think it's more black pepper than white pepper?
Yeah.
Because I feel it on the tip of my tongue.
I feel it all along the sides and the back of my tongue, like where the black pepper normally hits. The white pepper normally hits a little bit differently, but yeah, I definitely get a little bit of black pepper on it.
Yours is Corojo, right?
It is.
Okay, it's definitely a little spice from that Corojo.
Oh, yeah.
Cinnamon. I can get the leathery, like a leathery, nutty, leathery. I can get that. But I'm definitely getting a slight sweetness somewhere in there.
I mean, like I said, I get...
You're past your first third. Look at your cigar.
In fairness, mine was smaller. Nuts. I could get a nutty, chocolatey, leathery. It's good. It's very good, though.
I really am enjoying this stick. I love some Corojo. Aganorsa Leaf is actually really, really great. They make really great cigars. I can get with this.
On the Retro Hill, I get a little bit of nutmeg.
Definitely nutmeg.
Yeah. Yeah, it's well balanced. A little bit of spice.
Just Retro and Hell, people. Thanks. You're welcome.
Yeah, but it's very good. Very good. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of variables to this, and I think everybody's situations could be a little bit different. But I think at the end of the day, we all want to take care of everybody, right? As leaders, we want to take care of our team. We want to take care of our employees. And if that means doing the tough thing and making them get help, then I'm for it. But I would say just be careful about, don't use that tool too much, because you could end up eroding that trust or something.
Yeah, and you also want to be known as the leader that always send people like, oh, don't go talk to Dice. You might go see a therapist next.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to get that. Like, it's just, you definitely don't want to get that reputation. But I think there's some benefit to it. I think there's a benefit. I think there's also some drawbacks.
I think I'd rather deal with the drawbacks than dealing with the drawbacks far way less than the benefit. Did I say that right? No. I think the benefits outweigh the drawbacks by far. Hey, we'll say it that way. That way works better.
There you go. Yay, look, you can speak. Yay!
I got the secondary band on my cigar, and it's not loosening up, and I'm getting closer and closer to it with the flame, and I've already slightly damaged it a little bit trying to get this motherfucker off. How's your band?
My bands came off pretty easily.
Oh. No, this motherfucker's on
there. Used too much glue. Yeah, it's a well-balanced cigar, but I think, I would be good with this cigar for a while. I'd be happy with this one.
Well, this has definitely been a very great topic for a sidebar. We actually went over our normal sidebar topic timeline here. That's okay, because it was worthwhile.
Absolutely.
Hope people gain something from it.
Yeah, and just, these sidebars, you guys, remember, these are our opinions. There's nothing, we didn't do research for this. This is just our opinions, our experiences. So take a look at what you guys are doing. Take a look at your employees and figure out an approach that works best for you.
Well, share your thoughts. Is it a pro or is it a con? You can leave feedback on our Instagram, Leadership of the Leaf, one word. DM Is that what the cats are saying nowadays? DM? Yep. Or you can go to our blog or email, however you want to see fit. Just provide some kind of feedback. What is your opinion?
Yeah, no, I think it's I would love to hear other people's opinions, because there's a lot of opinions out there that are different from ours for sure. But I always like having discourse and hearing from the folks. But let us know. But until next time, I'm Austin.
And I'm gonna say Dice.
And just remember, great leaders smoke great cigars.
All right, until next time.
Thank you for listening to Leadership of the Leaf. The comments and opinions expressed by the host and guests does not reflect the opinions of those that broadcast this show, nor does it reflect any of our affiliates.